Hey there everyone, thanks for stopping by today. You have now embarked on video 2 of this 4-part series. God, it's a really vicious cycle that I hate. I hate what society is doing to humans. I hate it. I've come to the realization that from the moment that we walk into school, the first time we ever go to school, we're being conditioned to sit at desks and work our entire lives at a desk, and it just doesn't feel right. It feels very strange to me, and I doubt that I am the only person that feels this way. I literally woke up the other morning and I was just like, I've been being conditioned to do this, live this way my entire life since I was a child. And with the incentive when you're a kid to have the summer off. Okay, go to school from 8 to 3 every day, Monday through Friday. Your entire freaking childhood. Only have weekends off, and then you have this giant summer break off, which is wonderful, and you're always looking forward to summer. And then you just do it again. And they're literally conditioning us to be doing that as adults as well. Because there's the incentive, the pay, that's the incentive. For us, maybe if they, would come up with better incentives rather than just that hefty hourly pay, maybe people would be a little bit happier. But I really don't think so, because it's not the money. Like I said, it's not the money that is making you feel good. Yeah, while I was working there, I didn't have to stress about a single dime, but mentally and physically, I was unwell the entire time I worked there, and it was just a constant battle. It got to the point where I literally had to I was so miserable, so unhappy, and I feel terrible for, the people around me because they had to deal with my unhappiness. And, people say, and I do believe that's true to a certain point, that you can control your own happiness, but when it's something environmental that's truly out of your control, no matter how much you try to change your mindset about that thing, it's still going to be there and it is still going to be affecting you. Because trust me, I did every single thing I could do. I did every single positive thinking exercise that I could think of doing. I tried to resist resistance of making myself go back to that job. I tried everything. I tried therapy, talk therapy. I tried outdoor therapy. I tried exercise therapy. I tried meditation. I tried everything. But my body was literally yelling at me, no, 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 the entire time I worked there. And it was just like the longer I subjected myself to it, the worse my mental health and my physical health got. So at first it was physical. Like all of my symptoms of being in a negative, terrible, unhealthy environment were physical at first. And then later on, maybe 6 months later, it started affecting me mentally very, very heavily. I just can't even describe to you guys. I feel I've been away from this job for 2.5, 3 weeks now, and I feel like I've just been crawling out of this hole. I feel like I've just been in a hole, and I've been slowly but surely working to crawling out of it finally after leaving that environment. And it hurts me that there are people that still work there that I care about, because I don't want that for them if they're feeling the way that I was feeling. And I don't think that everybody there is feeling the way that I was feeling, because like I said, there's different types of people. There's the people who enjoy the desk jobs and enjoy that kind of work, and I'm not that person. And this entire experience, though it has been extremely rough, and rough on my partner too. It's kind of like sometimes when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, you kind of wish that you were almost dealing with it on your own, because then, or at least that's how I feel. I feel like I would have rather just dealt with all of this on my own so that I wasn't affecting somebody else with the crap that I have been dealing with. But this has strongly had an effect on my partner, and I'm so thankful that she has put up with my miserable attitude during this entire time and stuck with me during it, because I feel like a lot of people would just be like, well, you're miserable, I'm out, that kind of thing, and not hung in there and waited for me to find a resolution and waited for me to find my way out of this. Because it's hard to talk about. It's very hard to talk about, because I don't really know how to describe it very well. Because it's things I've been feeling and things that have affected me. Unless you have experienced it too, I don't know if somebody would really be able to understand truly how difficult times have been for you. And I also don't want this to be a video about complaining, because that's not my intention here. I truly, with this video, want to encourage people that if you find yourself in a toxic environment, no matter if it's like a home environment or a work environment, whatever kind of environment it is, if it's feeling bad for you in any way, shape, or form, please try to listen to your body and try to listen to your mind in that. And if you are able, try to get out of it. Try to find a different solution. Try to explore your options and see if there is a way that you can navigate out of that negative, toxic space, because it will wear on you and it will affect you mentally and physically. And there's no reason that we should waste our time in this life feeling that way. I would rather, I've lived a small life before where I lived out of an RV, my monthly payments, like all together, like everything, including insurance, like my personal cell phone bill and like monthly payments on the RV itself for the loan. My monthly payments were probably around $450, and that doesn't include groceries and like entertainment and stuff like that on the side. But man, that was the cheapest rent I've ever rent, and it wasn't even rent because I owned the RV, but that's the cheapest month to month I've ever lived in my entire life, and it's doable. So money isn't necessarily like, you don't have to be making a whole bunch of money to be happy. You just have to know what you need to be happy, or at least be trying to learn what you need as an individual to be happy. Maybe for some people it is money. I don't know. And yes, I love feeling comfortable and not having the stress of money hanging over me, because that is a terrible, daunting feeling also. I would rather live smaller, have less material objects, less square footage, less clutter, and be happier. I've noticed over time, for me, the less I have, the happier I am, because it's almost like the more stuff there is, the more clutter there is in my everyday life, the more cluttered my thoughts are, the more cluttered my emotions are, all of that. So coming up, my partner and I are going to be working towards downsizing our life. I am going to graduate school, and we're actually going to go bunk up with my mom in a different state for a little while I'm working on that degree. And that will take a lot of financial, obligations like rent and all of that off of our plate at this large scale that we currently have. And our rent right now is not outrageous by any means, but it's still a lot. And we're lucky that we're two people, because we can, pretty much guarantee that every month we're going to have that rent and pay that rent on time. But I've done this before. I've done this de-weeding process. I've done this shedding process before, of getting rid of the things that you really don't need in your life. And it's super scary at first, but it's a really great feeling, and it's very freeing. So I'm looking forward to exploring that again and doing that again, and this time with a partner, because last time I did it by myself. So it'll be a bit different now with someone else involved. But anyway, the point of this video is that I really just wanted to document this and let others know that, like, toxic environments really weigh heavy on you mentally and physically, and if you have a way out, get out and do something else. If it's like your job, don't quit your job and then go find something else. If you can, stick it out and find something else while you're still at the other place, just to secure your finances and stuff that you need to do for you.